Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Travel Without a Cause. So you might recognize this building I'm standing in front of from the very last vlog I did that I just posted a couple of days ago here at the Weedell Williams Aviation Museum in Patterson, Louisiana. So if you look in that's the aviation side over there where I broadcasted from on the last video. But if you go and look at the right side of the building, Cypress, I'm reading it backwards, upside down here, Cypress Sawmill Museum. And it's part of this, it's all in the same building, but I didn't have time to come and see both of them the other day. So today I happen to be back in the area for work. And I figured, hey, why not make a quick vlog on my lunch break again, and see some sawmill things. So haven't been in there yet. I kind of glanced at it when I did the aviation museum vlog the other day. I kind of glanced in the room with all the sawmill stuff in it, but I hadn't really been inside of it yet. So we're both in for a surprise here. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. I don't have much time because I'm on my lunch break. So thanks for tuning in. If you do like it, don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, all that stuff, and all the stuff that helps the channel. I really appreciate it, guys. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in and see what we can get into today. Let's go. I always feel like I'm walking into Willy Wonka's factory when I walk into these museums. You just walk in and it's like a whole bunch of stuff, a whole new world of all these different things. So here's a little museum video, like most of them have. They have these little intro museums, so you can get a feel of, what the place is about and all that. So looks like it's a story of Cypress industry from the heart of South Louisiana. I wonder when this was made. Looks like it was made in the 40s. Yeah, it's kind of hard to hear too, so I'm probably not going to show you guys this entire thing, but we'll watch a few seconds of it. Now, the way the Cypress Mill Museum ties in with the Weedell Williams Aviation Museum is that there were the two guys. There was Jimmy Weedell and then there was Harry Williams. So Jimmy was from another state. He's from Texas, I think. And so Harry Williams was he was already a millionaire from here in Patterson. And his family made all their money from the logging business, the Cypress for the most part, logging business. And so being that Mr. Williams is from here in Patterson was pretty much the main reason that the Aviation Museum is here, being that the, the hangar, like the Weedell Williams Aviation hangar and basically flight line, whatever you want to call it, was here in Patterson at the time. Which is not here anymore, and also makes sense why the museum for the aviation and the Cypress Mill Museum are here in Patterson. Just thought I'd kind of tie that together for you. So let's go ahead and flip the camera back around and look at this cool stuff. So you just saw that TV, that little presentation. The video is still going, but I'm not going to show you guys that whole thing. Plus, I don't even know if you'll be able to hear it all because it's tuned down pretty low. The volume's pretty low on it. But look at this big sill, or I don't know what to call this thing. It's a barrel of some type, for the logging business, obviously. It's pretty massive though. I'd say it's a good 13-14 feet across. It looks like you can kind of walk around here around the side. Look at these schematics here. Let's see what this says. Sanborn Fire Insurance Maps. Originally created for assessing fire insurance liability in urbanized areas in the U.S. They included detailed information about towns and buildings in approximately 12,000 U.S. towns and cities from 1867 to 1970. Dated May 1912, these maps show the location of many of the sawmills in Patterson. Wow, 1912. 1912. Look at that. That's 15 years older than my grandfather. Wow. Very cleanly done too. That's impressive. Let's go see what's up here. Okay, cistern. That's what I knew. It was like a word that was escaping me, but yeah, this is a cistern. Cypress, gift of Drew and Robert Clement. Cisterns, often made from cypress, were used to collect rainwater to keep the water cool. They were sometimes lifted off the ground with a brick chain wall. The durability of cypress in water makes it ideal for this purpose. The cistern was most likely used by a railroad company because cisterns for houses were much smaller. You usually see these on the side of older houses from, 19th, 18th, 19th century. Some old photos of old cypress loggers. I'm not going to read all those things because we'd be here all day. I am on my lunch break, so. Little cypress knees right there. For those of you who know anything about cypress trees, they grow these little, what they call knees, out of the ground around the trunks of the tree. Moss stuffed chair, 1850. Holy cow. 1850. Man. It kind of feels like I'm looking at the Abraham Lincoln assassination chair almost. This chair's 15 years before that happened. Moss stuffed mattress, 1850 to 1875. Man. You think at that time frame when you think of things being, oh, look, you can go inside the cistern. You think of things being so primitive back then, and you look at how developed they were. Whoa, this place is echoey, echoey, echoey. There's some more pictures of old Bucelage insulation. It's like mud and moss, basically. You see that a lot of southern plantation houses. You've seen that if you look at my Mouton plantation house tour blog. We see that inside that house. It smells good in here. Good old cypress wood. Any of you guys know anything about, what am I trying to say? If any of you guys know about cypress trees, they are very durable. They last a very long time. And like the sign said earlier a while ago, that cypress wood is so durable in water. It virtually lasts forever. There's an old horse collar. Horse collar is made of cured Spanish moss. Spanish moss is very popular in South Louisiana. You see it in most of my vlogs because I always take time to show it in the trees. Look at all these cypress knees. There's a beautiful painting here. An eagle catching a fish. That's America. Alligator. Can't have a picture of South Louisiana without an alligator and an egret. Or like they say in Cajun land, they call that a egret. I egret to inform you that... No, I'm kidding. Look at this place. Let's keep on going. Don't have much time. Moss bale, look at that. Circa 1999, the year I graduated high school. This is a moss gin, where they can make it into different things like, I guess, well, cushions and stuff like that. Looks pretty mean. Looks like the mangler or something. These little bullet-looking needle point things to probably separate it and manipulate it into whatever they need to. More workable texture. This little contraption here. Pulleys and stuff. Wow, single drum steam winch or hoist right here. This machinery looks pretty intimidating. This one's from 1910. 113 years ago. Some pretty neat things in here. Baptist pull cones. Baptist pull cones. Named after New Orleans businessman William Baptiste, maybe? Baptiste, probably. His last name is Baptiste. These pull cones were commonly affixed to the front end of a cut log. They made it easier for skidders to pull logs from the swamp and reduce damage to the standing forest. They look like they're cast iron steel, I'll tell you that. And those gripper claw things, they should have these in the toy machines instead of those cheap ones that never grab anything. My kids are always disappointed because they never can grab anything from those claw machines. Gonna do a petition to start using these. Bet you won't drop a troll doll with those things. Like there's an example of it right there. It's grabbing that log to pull it up with the chains and all that. That's some cool stuff. Look at this model here. Port of Morgan City, M.E. Norman steamboat. Here's some real pictures of it. Sewanee? Whoa, look at this, dang. That's a good, close to 6 feet. It's not quite as tall as me, but it almost is. Wow. And it says, don't go past these cones. Must be something original. It's a big wheel. Pretty, too. An old lantern. Wonder if that was used like a beacon. Oh, look at this. A schooner. Now, you guys ever seen the movie Mallrats where Ethan Suplee is he's trying to look at one of those pictures like that, you know, from the early 90s where you had to they're all digitized. You had to stare at them until your eyes were crossed and a picture came out of it, you know. And that little kid walks up to him while he's trying to figure out what the picture is, and the kid says, "Oh, look, it's a schooner." And then Ethan says, "It's not a." He's like, "You dumb bastard, you dummy! That's not a schooner. It's a sailboat." And the little kid, he owns him. He says, "A schooner is a sailboat." Highly recommend you guys watch that movie if you like that kind of humor, like silly humor. Check this out. This is so cool. It says a capstan. I don't know what that is, but here's like a basically a scene of what an old company office would look like in those days, with this gigantic mega desk here. The old typewriter. Check that out. Looks like calculators, I'd guess. This is an example of an old silo, what the silos look like. Not to scale, obviously. Another mega desk. Mega desk. Look at this calculator, man. Imagine having to bring that to class for a test. And the teacher's like, "I guess I'll let you guys bring your calculators and let you use your calculators for the test." And you got to bring that thing in a suitcase with you. Now you could just use your phone. This is cool. Fire bucket for the fire brigade. And the old fire hose on that wheel. Probably hooked that on the back of a carriage or something. On a cart. And fire buckets. Can be doubled as dunce hats. Look at this cool stuff, man. Blacksmith equipment. Look at all these cool things, man. I'm making that saw blade right there. These cool things. Circa 1920. All this stuff is from that era, that time frame. Pipe threaders. Look at this here. Saw sharpening and machine shop. So they're sharpening. It's how they sharpened the saw blades. I guess that grinding, like this piece right here, right there, you kind of push that down or pull it down on top of the blade and it sharpens it. Something like that. That's pretty cool looking. Those big saw blades back there, man. If that doesn't cut through a tree, I don't know what will. These cool gears right there. Look at that saw blade. It goes almost all the way up to the ceiling. I wonder if that was for the if this piece was for the actual cutting down of the trees, or if that's some kind of sharpening mechanism of some type or something. Wow. Some more milling stuff. This is probably the de-barking of the trees. This probably takes the bark off the trees. Spins it there. That's my guess. This is cool. I'm kind of going around the perimeter of this room. Some more grinding stones. You've seen those before, huh? A little lawnmower. And I'm going around the perimeter of the room. Then we're going to look at the stuff in the middle, trying to make the most of my time, a limited time. Some old P-Rose. Insert Cajun jokes here about us going to school in P-Rose with no shoes on. Heard it my whole life, especially when I was in the Marine Corps. They're like canoes, like Cajun canoes, but less sophisticated, usually, for the most part. More pictures and saw blades, and there's a two-man saw right there. On the top, some more cypress knees here, parts of cypress trees. This is more of a canoe here. Yeah, this is an actual canoe, a little bit more sophisticated than a P-row. Pretty nice one too. Now, let's look at all this stuff in the middle. Now, this is actually like a sort of a P-row dug out and used for production. This one has a little engine in it. Maybe the primitive version of a trolling motor, maybe. A bateau. That's French for boat. Talks about the Great Flood of 1927, which happened down here in South Louisiana. Yeah, look at the little motor, what now would be called an outboard motor now. It basically just does the same thing, essentially. See the little blade right there? Right there. You control it up there. That's cool stuff. And somebody would sit right there and control it all, or sit back here and control it. It's pretty big. I say it's about 25 feet long. Some more bateaus. Look at this cool looking thing here. It's like a tank. Then attach a cart attachment on the back. Definitely looks like something they do some logging with. 8 horsepower Nadler marine engine, 1930 to 1950. These old motors, boat motors and stuff. Maybe not. That's not a boat motor, that's a chainsaw. Whoa. That's a Mail Tool Company chainsaw, 1920. Designed for 2-man crews. Man, I was looking at that thing, it was a boat motor, and it's part of a big old chainsaw. Fairbanks Morse Z gasoline engine. Passpod 2. Crosscut saw. Circa 1890. Old chainsaw right there. Man, look at these old chainsaws. This is so cool. They come a long way, but at the same time, they kind of still look the same in a way. That's where they would haul this or tow this with the, or tow more equipment with, you know. Tie it to a wagon or a tractor of some type. Maybe even some horses or donkeys or something. Lumber cart. Whoa, look at this tractor. International Harvester Titan 1920. I love that everything's from around that time. I'm just fascinated by that time period and the production and the industrial, almost the back end of the Industrial Revolution, you know. Look at this. Old red metal wheels. This little catapult looking seat here. I don't want to touch things. I want to touch it, but I'm not going to. It's like something on the Beverly Hillbillies, huh? Bandsaw. Look at this other beast right here. Man. Yates American Machine Company, circa 1920. This saw is used to cut large planks into smaller pieces. It was salvaged from an abandoned mill in Cade in St. Martin Parish, which is about 30 minutes north of us. Ish. Already looked at that. Let's see, there's some more artifacts here. A compass? It is a compass. Big piece of cypress wood right there. You can see in it. Look at this big boy. Big piece of cypress tree here. I could literally crawl through that if I wanted to. It looks a little bit bigger off camera than it does on camera. It's pretty big though. Big old piece of cypress. There's some more here. Another cypress log here. Now they were saying in that video, I don't know what parts of the video I'm going to show, that intro video we saw on the little black and white TV there. I might not show any of it. I might show just a few seconds of it. But anyway, they were talking about how back in those days, late 19th century, early 20th century, these still have the nails in it. The stakes, whatever they called them back then. They're saying like at that time it was a time of giant trees, you know, because nowadays, I mean, all the big ones have pretty much for the most part been cut down. So all the ones you see today are for the most part right around 100 years old, 100, 130 years old. But back then they were very ancient trees by that time. So they were absolutely huge. So they had the, you know, the utmost availability of those giant trees, which is maybe what helped the industry so much. Chop saw. That's a chop saw, circa 1920. Used to cut lumber to required lengths. It was salvaged from the May Brothers Lumber Company in Eunice, which is about 30-45 minutes northwest of Lafayette. For those who are interested in the geography, in the back of this, it's like railway ties or something. I wonder why. They're bent like that. That's interesting. Oh, I see. They're made, that's part of the carrier. Like this thing, okay, so they built it with wood and they put these metal ties on top of it and bent them to shape. But they're made like that on purpose so you could see the wood, the logs would sit like right here in the middle and rest in that little groove there. But this is all metal for reinforcement. Okay. I know that all looks like probably common sense, but I had to reason with myself and talk myself into, or school myself on it, I guess you could say. Log slide, yes, that's what it is. So it just helped the whole mechanism helped when they put a log on here, it would just kind of just roll down like almost like a conveyor belt type of thing. Type of concept you can see down in there. Cool stuff. So I think that's it for this. Kind of an echo in this place. I hope I'm coming off pretty clear to you guys. We didn't see this yet. Single drum steam winch or hoist. A big piece of cypress wood right there. Circa 1910. Fascinating how they kept this stuff up. Of course, when they built things like the way they used to build them, they're built to last and last forever. This cool little John Deere looking log saw. Whoa. I wonder if that was used to cut cypress knees and all that, the lower things. Ottawa, Kansas. Ottawa Manufacturing Company, circa 1910. This type of saw was dragged into the woods by horses or mules. A single worker then used it to cut logs. Huh. Well, guys, I guess that we pretty much covered everything in this short trip we had today. My lunch break vlog trip here. And I want to finish this vlog by showing you guys what's up top here. It's really magnificent. I guess it's a crop duster or something similar to that. Big banana yellow plane here hanging from the ceiling. And if you go through there, through the doors there, on the other side back there is the aviation museum you saw in my last vlog. So anyway, so I'm going to close out this one here inside the, I call it the Willy Wonka's factory of Cypress mill machinery and cool stuff. I'll stick with that title. And like I said, quick lunchtime vlog for you guys. Kind of limited on my time sometimes during the week to do vlogs, so I just happened to run across this place a few days ago and do the aviation museum and then do this Cypress mill museum here, which is actually, both of them I think are a nice treat. I didn't expect to see any of this stuff in here, but it's pretty intense. All this old machinery, this cast iron, old school engineering and all that stuff you see here. But I got to see the airplane too behind me there. But anyway, if you're into this kind of stuff, if you're into like old industry, that old industrial, let's losing my train of thought here, the old industrial revolution things and stuff like that, and old Southern culture with, you know, cypress logging and all that, I highly recommend you come and take a look at it. And then while you're here, you can go next door to the other room and see all the aviation stuff with all the old airplanes from about the same time. And yeah, so with that, hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I post more videos just like this one. And you guys stay cool and stay tuned for the next video. In the meantime, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye, folks.